Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Armchair Sports. We are at Mama June's at 3286 Inner Perimeter Road, Valdosta, Georgia. Phone number is 229-245-6062. Y'all are more than welcome to come out, grab some food, enjoy the show with us. We even have a room back here where you can sit and join in. I'm Jimmy, also known as Yogi. To my left, your right, is going to be Roger. Big Raj.
Big Raj, that's me.
Mama T is still working.
Still working. Still having to pay the dollar bill so we can actually.
She's having to pay for the show.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I got a good woman, don't I?
Yeah.
Mama T, we miss you.
We're wondering what's wrong with her.
Yeah, no, I'm not wondering anything. Y'all can wonder all you want to. But anyway, hey guys, good to see everybody today. I'm glad you're out here at Mama June's with us. We've had several people come by and talk to us and walk behind us and wave and say all kind of things. So we appreciate everybody coming out. We appreciate everybody sending messages. Again, we got this last week. We're getting several things in the mail now, and things are starting to roll on the show here. So we do appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you're doing. Chris in the background, he's actually doing all our computer stuff. He's been trying to work on this Zoom stuff. We don't have it completely figured out, but we do have a way that you can call in tonight at about 15 minutes into the show. You're going to be able to call. Let me give you the number to call. Do not call it right now because it's not set up yet. It will be set up in about 15 minutes. But it's 912-674-0098. That's 912 area code 674-0098. So it's also in the inscription. If you're just looking, you'll see that number. You call that number, and we'll get you on the air. Chris will be answering most of the calls, so be nice. That's all I've got to say.
You ain't got to be nice to Raj, though.
Yeah, I don't care.
Hey, Mama T.
Everybody knows I don't
care.
care.
Acknowledge Mama T. She's saying, hey.
Oh, hey, Mama T. Okay, just so everybody knows, I don't read comments as they come in. I don't even go back and watch the show.
It's because he can't read.
You didn't have to tell them all my secrets. But, I mean, it's one of those things that I'm in the moment, so I stay in the moment and I do the things in the moment, and I want to be able to react in the moment. And other people read them, and they bring their stuff out. Chris sits in the back, and he reads them. Mama T usually reads them when she's here. And Jimmy keeps a phone on the side over there, as you can tell. He reads them. I just don't read them. Number one, I can only do one thing at a time, and that's talk. And everybody knows, if they know me, that I like to talk. So I can do that. I can't talk and read.
Unless he's pouting.
And then I throw papers and just look into the sky. I got in trouble for that 2 weeks ago. Right, Jimmy?
Yep.
See? But anyway, so I'm going to throw.
It won't be the first time, won't be the last.
No, because I'm going to throw papers at him before the night's out. I can see it. I've got them all stapled together, so they'll all be right at his head this time. All right, the first thing we want to talk about, we're going to go through 4 issues tonight. We're going to talk about the Rush Probes issue. Of course, that's coming back up in the news here in Valdosta. For those of you that don't know, we'll get into that. Rush Probes is the Valdosta High School football coach. We're also going to talk about the just small little tidbits about basketball, because we're fixing to get into the playoffs. And
the Hawks made it.
And they did.
Finally.
And so within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking a lot about basketball. We did have the last couple of weeks, we had a couple things happen in baseball. So we're going to spend a little short time on baseball, and your Braves are sinking. But I tell you, you guys should have listened to me 2 weeks ago. You should have got rid of Freeman. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about baseball, and then we're going to have a small little break, and then we're going to go in and we're going to talk about the comparisons between the Atlanta Falcons, Jimmy's team, and the Jacksonville Jaguar, my team. And we're going to compare draft picks, compared where they were, and kind of run down the end of the show that way. We're going to take your calls in between all of this. So all you need to do is hang on there, and you'll be able to tell us. And you can change the subject on us if you want to. We'll wing it from that point. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Rush Pros. Do you have anything you want to say off the top?
I mean, what can you say? I mean, I don't even know if they know what they're doing. I would love to know why. There are so many rumors flying around about why they want to revisit the renewal situation. It's just going. I think this is the first time I can ever look forward to Monday.
So you can see if it's over again. It's almost like Groundhog Day. It keeps happening. If he's being suspended, to know he's not suspended to he's on leave, from he's not on leave to, well, the board has it, and he's not on the board has it, but the people in Atlanta have it. Well, they're not in Atlanta. They're in Thomaston, and then it's not. They're not in Thomaston. They're going in front of a region of
Well,
16.
it's just-
they're not in a
it's-
region of 16. Hold on, let me finish. They're not in region of 16, and then they go to they went to the board of 32, and then they didn't go to the board of 32. They went back to 16. Then what happens? They go to the board, and the board says, okay, for the 5-3 vote, they send him down. They said chop off his head. He's done. And then now you're coming back again, and they want to bring it up again.
Well, I think the biggest thing everybody is going to want to know is if it changes Monday, what happened to make it change?
Well, and then Marcus.
Because you still, there's no reversal on the suspension of the playoffs.
Sanctions, right,
the sanctions still stand.
Right.
So what is different today than it was 2 weeks ago? The lead rumor, and until you know for sure, the lead rumor is, well, if we get rid of him, maybe they'll go easy on us.
Well, that was the rumor before. But now what are they standing on? They can't go easy on him. They're already done with it. That's completely in the file. That chapter's over.
They may be thinking, well, if they're not going to let us do it either way, let's just keep the man. But now, the one thing I do disagree on that is if the sanctions still stand,
you're going right where I was going to go with it.
If the professional standards committee doesn't do anything, and Rush is able to coach, what do you do about the 4 kids that can't?
There's nothing you can do. That's
one of the things.
That's my point right now. And that's what you great lead in to where I was going with that. Because from what I understand, I was talking with Marcus Rogers earlier today, who actually will, in all hopes, he'll be actually a guest host. I'll be on my way back from LA next week, so I won't be able to be here. I won't get into town till right about that time. So,
and that will be Tuesday night at
Miss
JoJo's Potatoes and Mac Shack.
Out on
go ahead
Bay Tree Road.
Yes,
right in front of the movie theater. So Marcus, if he's able to do it, we've contacted him. We're in negotiations with him right now. The negotiation is he does it or he doesn't do it. That's the negotiation.
We'll give you a cup, Marcus.
He already has one.
Oh, he does? Okay. Well, we'll get you a rag.
How about a T-shirt? A rag. Anybody wants T-shirts? We do have T-shirts. We do have cups. We do have coffee mugs. We do have it all. So if you want one, we also our store's coming up online here shortly. But anyway, back to probes. You're saying exactly where I was going with that. So the Sanderson family went up in front of the board. The board turned the Sanderson family and everybody else down when they went up, and not the board, but they went up in front of the board in the different locations. Okay, that's fine. They did what they said their piece, and they had to say it. And the people at Sanctions, one thing that came out on the show, there's another show in town here that was on, Marcus was on last night, and they told, and Marcus said he heard them say, the Sanders family, that the board, not our board here at the city, but the board in the
GHSA
board, they said that they saw enough of they heard enough of the audio tape that was their decision. So my question is, if they heard the audio tape and said that was enough to make a decision for them, what about what these parents, did they have their mind already made up before they went in there, so the parents didn't matter to them, the kids didn't matter to them? What they heard Rush Probe say was that was it. So anyway, and from one gathering is on the show that Marcus was listening to, or he was around or heard or whatever, the Sanderson family, they said that they were coming to Valdosta. They're from Colquitt County, from what I understand.
Yes.
And they were coming from Colquitt County because they were trying to get out of a situation or I don't want to say exactly if it was poverty or if it was a down situation, but they were trying to get their son out of the situation in Colquitt County. So they had several places in mind, several different schools. It just happened that they were able to come over here to Valdosta, and that's where they decided to come where Pros was, because he was familiar with him. Sanderson family, let me say this right now. You're more than welcome to come on here and explain it to me, because I'm totally confused. I understand getting your child out of a situation that you were in, but it just so happens you go right to where the coach was that you went to before. And I'm going to tell you something. I think the kids are getting screwed. That's just my point. I look at it as, I think what's happening is just like what Jimmy was saying earlier. I think what's happening now is the kids are going into this and the family's going into this. They put their heart and everything in it. And if you go back and you hire Rush Probes and the certification board does not pull his certification, that means Rush Probst did all of this, and the only people that got hurt in it is who? The kids.
The kids from Valdosta.
And that means that the kids from Valdosta, how can you trust a coach that did that to you ever again, and he comes out of this unscathed? There's the problem I'm having. I agree with the Sanderson family on some of the things that they're talking about and some of the things that they said on the show. I completely understand that. I can understand some of the things that they were going through or they have gone through and just trying to make it better for the child. But did you make it better for your child when they came over here? In hindsight, I guess not.
Well, and this is nothing against Miss Sanders. I ain't saying
exactly.
But it was brought. Marcus asked me. He said, "Well, did you hear what she said?" And I'll be honest, I'm not calling you a liar. But what did you expect her to say? Yeah, they paid me. I mean, I don't expect her to go up there and do it. Now, I'm not saying she did, but I don't. They said, well, we're going to have our witnesses. Okay, well, you brought the 4 witnesses or the parents of the 4, because I'm not counting the quarterback that couldn't play this year anyway because he's in college.
He don't care. He's done with his career.
I mean, I don't expect none of the parents to say, yeah, they paid me to bring my son.
Right.
So, anyways.
Well, no, I completely
We'll
agree.
find out Monday night, according to what happens.
We'll find out Monday, but I would really like to have somebody that was involved in that situation come on here and say, okay, yes, this is what happened, or no, this is – because there's a lot of things going out there, a lot of things people are saying.
There's a lot of rumors.
And, you know, the only way to kick a rumor in the rear end is have the person or somebody that was involved in it right here to tell you exactly what's going on. So that's what we're looking for. You're more than welcome to call in. You can call in at 912-674-0098. You can call that number. As of right now, the phone lines are going to be open. So you can call that number, and we can talk about it right now if you want to. As we're getting into the show, we can come back to it. So
circle back.
Well, there you go. We'll circle back. That's our logo, by the way. We're putting a copyright on that. So I think there's a news media organization that already did that. But anyway, so I don't want to kick a dead horse, but so the Rush Probst is back in the news, and we'll figure it out sometime Monday. And who knows, it may not be Monday, because all I'm hearing is Warren Lee wants to have a meeting that has to go into executive session that he wants action on, or there has to be action on it. So everybody's speculating on what that's going to be. The only thing that it says is from a revisit the release or non-renewal of a head football coach. So let's put out all of it into perspective. Everybody's out here. We're all saying all these different things, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. The only person that knows what's going on is Warren Lee. Warren Lee, you're more than welcome to call 912-674-0098. You're more than welcome to call that number, and we can talk right now. Anybody that knows Warren, we've got people with Valdosta that tend to text everybody and tell everybody all the different things we say. You got an open line to call right now and talk to us. So you just call that number, and we'll circle back. All right, so the Rush Probst issue's out of the way.
Well, till Monday. Till Monday.
Till Monday, until somebody wants to call us.
I ain't looking forward to going to work, but I'm looking forward to the meeting.
Well, yeah, Monday.
And it will be at Valdosta Middle School.
You actually are going to work Monday?
Well, I'm going to report.
Oh, okay, report. Report to work, Sergeant. Anyway. So let's move on. We're going to circle back to that later. If anybody wants to call, you give us a ring. We're going to go to a little bit of basketball, and the little bit of basketball we're going to go to is, Jimmy, tell me what you know.
The Hawks is going to win it all.
The Hawks going to win it all. No, but they're at least in the playoffs. I have to give them credit.
So they got a shot.
Everybody has a shot, even if they don't have a shot. Well, those that don't have a shot aren't in the playoffs, I guess. So right now you've got the Suns are taking the second position, and Jimmy, you have messed all my papers up.
I'll give it to you in order, just like you said.
I put them upside down. I put them everywhere. Look at me.
You got them stapled backwards, upside down.
I sure do. This is all Jimmy right here. I didn't do this. This is Jimmy. I brought this in, and look what he did to me. He did this, so I'd be screwed
with no
up.
stapler. No stapler.
Anyway, it's all Jimmy's fault. So there goes basketball out of here. So let's do.
Well, there's nothing else to talk about. Told you the Hawks is going to win it.
Yeah, the Hawks ain't going to win.
Dominic's gonna dominate.
The Nets are in second position. They're going to take it. I'm telling you. Everybody mark my word. All right, you're the baseball fan. Let's talk about baseball.
Okay. Then. Well, first of all, let's congratulate the Lowndes High Vikings as they advance to the semifinals.
We actually sat
today.
Here and listened to that. That was nice.
Yeah, we did. It was a heck of a game too. They now move on to play Parkview next week, and it will be in Parkview from what I understood.
That was a heck of a game, and in the high school baseball, for y'all that don't know that's not from around here, high school baseball here only goes into the 7th inning. They went into the 8th inning, and they had bases loaded.
No outs.
No outs. The other team brought 5 of their players to infield. They had a five-player infield, and they left only 2 in the outfield. And I told Jimmy right before this happened, I said, all we need, Jimmy said, all I need is a single, is a single hit. That's all I need.
And that's what we got.
No, you got a pop-up fly, just like I said, a pop-up fly. He caught
out
it
to the outfield
and stole home. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't care if it's Lowndes or Valdosta. These kids are doing a great job.
And since you said Valdosta, congratulations to them too. Unfortunately they did lose a doubleheader yesterday.
But they did. They played off.
But they got there.
They sure did. And you know what? For those of you that have been out, like I have for a while, like Jimmy has for sure, been out of sports for a while, you have to understand what it takes for these kids to keep their academics up, to stay physically fit, to keep their mind ready to play, and to go out there and do it every day. So I take my hats off to Valdosta and the Lowndes fan and every other athlete that's in high school right now. But let's go with the AL East in baseball. You've got the Red Sox, Yankees, and the Blue Jays. And the NL East, you've got the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves. Your Braves that were
stinking.
Hold on a second. Your Braves that were at the top of the list when you and Mama T jumped on me when I was talking about Freeman. And I said, just wait, just give them time. What's going to happen? They're going to fall off. Look what's happening.
I still got faith, but right now they stink.
They went from 1 to 3 in a week and a half.
Well, that means we can go to 3 to 1 in a week and a half too.
Well, I don't know. You're looking at 17 and 19, and you've got to beat 20 to 17. So you've got to complete
5 or 6 more games than the other team, the Mets. They've only played 31. We've played 36. But like
you were telling me last week, and I don't understand it, the percentages.
I know.
Those percentages are what puts them in this position. So anyway, you've got the AL Central, which is the White Sox, Indians, and the Royals, and the NL Central, which is the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Reds. Again, the clear runner on that is going to be the Cardinals at 22 and 15.
But the Braves have always the second half.
They're always the second half
They're always a second half of the season team.
Well, and that's where you have to peak. You have to get things right, and I'll agree with you. That's totally fine. I won't agree that the second half team, but I will say that's where you want your team. It's like in football and basketball. Now's the time in basketball you want to peak. You don't want to peak right now in football because you're not even playing.
No, you're not playing.
So you want to peak later on, and you want to peak during the 8th, 9th, 10th game. I was talking with a Jaguar spokesman today, and he said for sure, I think we're going to be good in the first 5 to 10 games. The reason because they're not going to know our set. We'll get into that in a little bit. So let's go over to the National. We just did the National League Central. Let's do the National League West. The Athletics, the Astros, and the Mariners. And then you have in the West and the AL are the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers. And now the Giants actually have 1 loss less than the Cardinals. So you're looking it's a pretty close race right there. So that's what we have as far as recap on that. Let's look at here's what you're going to have coming out. In a 7-game series, you're looking at the Mets and maybe the Yankees. So you're looking at a New York let's just say for giggles, New York World Series. What happens? Who becomes the best? Who has the better bullpen? Who has the better position players? Which one would be better set to actually win a series like that? Would it be the Mets or would it be the Yankees?
Yankees.
Why? Just because you're a
Yankees
fan?
No, I'm not a Yankees fan.
Okay,
I can't stand them, but they buy the best.
They buy the best, but let's look at what the Mets are doing. They haven't bought anybody, but they're turning around. They've got 5 players. Right now, they got 5 players on the DL. And that's not down low. But they've got 5 players on the hurt. They're just coming back or have been listed as of yesterday on the DL. So the question is, with that many players they already have hurt, they're still leading the NL East.
But there's still so much left.
But if they get those 5 players back, I really think they have one heck of a chance.
And they could. If they get them back, they could win it all. Or they may, just a few years ago, the Yankees had an all-star at every position. And if I remember right, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's who's hot at the right time.
Who's hot, who's not. That's the way to look at it.
And we haven't been in a while.
No, who? The Yankees or the Bravos? How we doing back there, Scott? We got a line open. Is that correct? The line is open, right? 912-674-0009. The line is open. You can call if you want. Here's what we're going to do. Right now, we're going to move on to the differences between. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we've done our research on this, and he's actually going to have the Atlanta Falcons. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Jaguars and talk about the Falcons and kind of look at their drafts and at their what's the word I'm looking for? It's not draft. It's
free agent
signing. Yeah, free agent signings. So we're going to look at the draft and the free agent signings, and then we're also going to look at how many players they have as far as rookies and tenured players. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
All right, you want me to go?
Go ahead.
So first of all, we got the schedules came out. Where's your schedule? Where are you like? We are playing each other on what day was that? November.
That was November 28th.
November 28th. We are playing, and where are we playing?
We're playing at y'all's home stadium.
Oh,
the old Gator Bowl.
The old Gator Bowl. It's still the Gator Bowl. We're still playing. It's not the Gator Bowl. It's
TIAA. Whoever that is. Who is that?
I can't say that on here. TIAA. Anyway,
Tia Bank Field.
Tia Bank Field. It's a bank. It's a bank. It's a bank. So anyway, we're playing there in Jacksonville. I'll give a pick later, but right now you look at we're playing the Dolphins in London. They actually opened it up. We got the calls yesterday as ticket holders. They said that they're opening it up to everybody if you want to go to London. My brother also said he was talking about going to London, and so we're looking at the Jaguars in London on the 17th at 9:30 a.m. So that's awful early in the morning. You got to get your coffee ready. When are y'all playing in London?
We're playing in London. We play the New York Jets with the little 15-year-old quarterback at 9:30 a.m. also.
You're going to know, by that time, you're going to know whether that 15-year-old quarterback is playing at a 21-year-old level or if he's playing at a 15-year-old.
He might, but he's still you've seen the meme on Facebook where he's dressed up.
Yeah.
And it says when you're headed to your junior high dance, but have to be at the draft by 8.
It's so true, though. I completely agree.
He does. He literally, folks, if you haven't seen him, pull him up. He looks like he's maybe 16 years old, but a very tall one.
Very tall 16-year-old. What is he, 6'3", 6'4"?
I guess.
I don't know. Somebody let us know. Jimmy's done. See, this is why I don't do it, because it doesn't work half the time. So if can you see any comments that are going on back there, Chris? If you can see any of the comments or if anybody says anything, are we even getting out there? Because we're getting no responses today.
Danny Coder is watching.
Right,
it just popped up.
Hey, Danny, can you see me, Danny? Say hi. Ho. Hum.
Or call in. Call in, Danny.
Call in at 912-674-0098. The number's right there on your screen. So anyway, let's go to some pros and cons of what we have. Pros and cons of you give me the pros and cons on your team. And I'll give on the Atlanta Falcons. I give you the pros and cons on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
One big pro we have, we at least have offensive weapons.
You do have that.
We do have that. We've got to.
If you can keep Julio Jones signed. If you sign,
he's signed. That's no problem.
But if you're going to keep him after, because he's doing the same thing that Aaron, from what I hear, the same thing that Aaron Rodgers is trying to do. Is he trying to get out of Atlanta?
Well, I ain't going to say it's him trying to get out. I think it's more of a money situation because we have no money. And getting rid of him after June 1st will release, I believe it was $17 million.
So if you get rid, okay, so let's figure this out. So that means if you release him and you still have to pay $17 million.
No, we only after June 1st. If I remember the article right, it said we would save $17 million and not have to pay him $31 million.
Right.
So we would still be on the hook for 14.
So you're on. Okay, here's the thing. If you're on the hook for $14 million, you're going to release a guy. It's 17 for, there's still going to be 17. Somebody's going to have to pick up that 17 million. That makes it 30 what? 32 million, 33 million. I'm not good at math. So anyway, so that makes it 30 something million.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to keep that 30 something million right there, and then what you're going to do is wait. Who's this?
Huh?
Look what we got coming.
This is
I
Kylie.
just love it.
Did you need another Kramer?
No, ma'am, I sure don't. I don't use Kramer. That you were talking about Chris over there.
Folks, this is Kylie
come
Ray.
back over
Y'all
here,
should
Kylie.
remember her by now because she's here every week. Abby, I guess, just took a vacation. Where did she go?
She's busy doing her
They don't want to stand
Okay.
on that side. They just want to stand on this side. That's what it is. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. Y'all come up and see them. They're doing a great job up here at Mama June's. But anyway, where were you?
She brings Roger a piece
A
of coffee,
piece of coffee
week.
every time. That's it. So anyway, go ahead. You forgot where you were.
No, we was talking about Julio Jones. My thing is, do I want him to leave? No. I just wish he'd take a pay cut. He only plays in about 8-9 games a year now. And that's too much money that's $31 million is too much money for a part-time player. But I don't blame him for signing the contract. I would too.
I don't blame him for signing the contract. He's a guaranteed. You
but
said
it's
guaranteed 17 or guaranteed 14. He's guaranteed.
We would be on the hook
Look
for
on
14.
your thing. I think you have it on your thing there. It says how much he's guaranteed. But if he's guaranteed that money and you send him out anyway, somebody else has to pick up the back end of that. You're still paying the 14. Why don't you just keep him until the contract's over? Everybody shut their mouth, play football, and be done with it.
Because they're looking in the future on him.
Right. If they're looking in the future, then why are they? They want to see what he's going to do later on in life. I mean, as it gets longer.
Well, no, getting rid of him this year takes him completely off our books for next year.
That's what I'm saying.
So we'll have 31
so
million.
Just that's what I'm getting at. So why not just shut up, play the game, and be done with it? It's look, give me $1 million.
It's according to what you can get for him. If you can get rid of him, get rid of that 17 million. You still have to pay his 14 million, but you can get a second or third round draft choice. Then do it.
See, I disagree. You're off the hook with him next year. You don't have to pay anything out. You're going to have to pay whatever it is you agreed to pay, $32 million. Be done with that. Move on, and then next year just dump him or get you're going to get a draft pick for nothing next year. Then, if you want to look at it that way, if you're getting a draft pick for nothing, then you don't have to worry about it. And it's not on that list, is it?
Nope, his name is not on here. So evidently, he is not a member of the Falcons.
He probably isn't the way Jimmy talks about him. But anyway, so
well, you run the list off.
Well, look at the list a little harder. I don't know. I don't look at what it says it is. What does the list say it is? Position players, team players, or is that free agent players? Is that the free agent players that?
Yeah,
that
this
Atlanta
is the free
just signed?
agent.
See there, you ain't. See, that's
Man,
what I'm saying. See, he doesn't.
Then you give me the wrong list and then blame it on
Oh wait,
me.
I'm not thumbing through the papers like you are. But anyway, so let's move on. So anyway, your pros and cons. Let me give you my pros and cons with Jacksonville. With Jacksonville, we have who that everybody's talking about right now that, he might, he will, he is, he's done, he's won't, he can, he should, he wouldn't. Because.
Hey, let's sell some tickets.
All right, and that's what you say. You
That's
say
what I
let's
say.
You say let's sell some tickets. Tim Tebow is signing, or is going to sign, supposed to sign, would sign, has signed, whatever, is going to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars, so everybody gets their panties in a wad. And here's why. Because Tim Tebow has been out of the league for 8 years. He's been out of the league for 8 years. He's kept himself in shape. He didn't get the opportunities that he should have when he was in the league to begin with because of the circus that followed him around. Is that his fault? I don't think so personally, but I mean, some can say that's his fault. But so you look, what you're looking at right now is people are disgruntled because it's white privilege again. It's because he is doing different things, or he is been out of the league and people are saying he has been out of the league so long. What about the ones that are in the league that are younger than him, that are bigger, faster, stronger, that can do those things? Why don't they get the opportunity rather than bring somebody in that's been out of the league for 8 years? Why are things...
See, I haven't heard that.
That's
the only thing I've heard is how come he gets a contract and Colin K can't.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And
I've not heard nothing about, well, how's he get it? And this guy's been here for 3-4 years in the league.
Right.
He's played, he started, but they didn't sign him.
But that's
the only thing you're hearing is,
no,
how can he get it 8 years out of the league? Colin's been out for 5 or 6, and he can't even get a
don't
tryout.
say that's the only thing, because that's not the only thing you're hearing.
But I'm saying that's the only thing I've heard.
That's the only thing you've heard. But I'm telling you, what I read today was somebody else was a tight end that was playing for Indianapolis or somebody played till they were 27 and they just got released. Wants to know why he doesn't get a shot with Jacksonville and Tim Tebow does. So you're looking at what? There's 3-4 different controversies out there. Here's my opinion. If he's good enough to try out, let him try out. Oh, but Urban Meyer's giving him a shot because he played for Urban. He was Urban's buddy. He lives by Urban. Urban lives down the road from him. They've talked football all the time. Well, you know what? Sometimes that's what happens. And if he's good enough to make the team.
It's about who you know.
If he's good enough to make the team, let him make the team. If he's not, can him when it comes time to can him. Look, right now, Jacksonville has, let me go real quick. Jacksonville has how many tight ends?
I don't know. You
6.
got that.
Jacksonville has 6 or 7 tight ends on the books right now. So look, he may not even make the final.
Well, I don't have a problem with him trying out. I don't have a problem with him being signed.
What's your problem then?
Why would you? I mean, you've got tight ends that have played the game. You've got tight ends that are naturals at it.
6.
And you're going to bring in a guy that played it one game.
Okay, I'll tell you
in high school.
I'll tell you why. He played one game at tight end. Everybody wanted him to play tight end. Everybody wanted him to go to tight end. He wouldn't go to tight end. Now, does that mean, okay, he'll be great at tight end? I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying tight end, if he's given a chance to prove himself, he gets out there with O'Shaughnessy or gets out there with some of those other tight ends, and he beats them out on their job. It's like me running out there and trying to be an offensive lineman. If I beat them out, then I beat them out. It's my turn. If I don't beat him out, then send me on the road, which he's done in baseball. He walked away from football. He walked away from baseball. Now he's getting to try to go back at tight end.
I don't have a problem with him trying out.
But why are you saying, why does he get the opportunity?
No. I honestly think it's more of a publicity stunt.
Okay, what publicity does Jacksonville need right now? They've got the number.
We're bringing our homegrown son back.
Wait a minute. They don't need it right now.
Hey, look, we got Trevor and we get.
But right now, yeah, okay, but look at the first thing you just said. Oh, wait, we got Trevor. Trevor's going to be your media and your moneymaker right now.
And Tebow ain't?
No, I don't think he is the top. That's I think is the biggest myth right now. Oh, Tebow,
don't get me wrong. I like Tebow, but I don't think he's going to make the team.
That's fine, but you give him the opportunity to make the team. That's what everybody did before. They didn't give him a chance to make it, and they all put him down and said, no, you can't make it. You can't do this.
The last NFL team he played for was stupid for letting him go, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
Because he was getting more popular than the man running the team, and he was not going to have that.
Denver let go of him, and he did what?
Played baseball.
No, Denver let go of him, and he did what for Denver? He took him to
He took him to the playoffs. From the time from when they named him the starter, they was not going to the playoffs. He took over as a starter, got them in the playoffs, and I believe they won a game or two.
Yeah, he threw it to Marion Thomas.
Boom! All of a sudden, he wasn't good. So
exactly. So that's my point. As far as you're looking, which brings me to the next point. You're looking at the options that they have on the field. Why not bring Tim Tebow in? You have ETN. You now have Trevor Lawrence and ETN in the backfield. You got your other backs that are running. You've got 4 wide receivers, one a Pro Bowl wide receiver from last year. You've got 1 tight end. You can run a double tight end set. So, and if I throw Tim Tebow in the mix, guess what? I've got a guy that can throw the ball. I've got a guy that can run the ball. I got a guy that can block. I got a guy that's going to take your attention completely off of everybody else. And then what's going to happen? I can dump it down in the center. I can dump it out to the side. I can give it to the running back because they're going to have to guard Tebow coming out here. They're going to have to guard Westbrook coming out here. They're going to have to guard ENT coming over here. So you put two.
But you could also say, hey, Atlanta, look who y'all drafted.
Mm-hmm.
What you going to do with your other tight end that was a Pro Bowler last year?
Exactly. That's what didn't make any sense to me. They've got the Pro Bowler, but to me, it was still a good move. But they take this guy. You got a Pro Bowler. You can do a 2 tight end set with who I don't think is a Hall of Famer, but a guy that you think is going to be in the Hall of Fame. You give him 2 tight ends, and you got Julio Jones on the outside. If you can't throw the ball, you don't deserve to be in the.
Oh, he's going to throw the ball.
He's going
As I told you earlier, I mean, he has no offensive line and still threw for over 4,500 yards. Imagine if he had an offensive line, the damage he could do.
Well, you're moving one step closer because you bring in 2 tight end set with Julio on the outside, one of your other wide receivers, and they did. Let's look at who did they bring in? Who did they bring in Atlanta?
In Atlanta?
Yeah. Who was there? Let's go. Let's look at the roster right now. Who do they have on the roster right now as far as offensive linemen?
As far as, well, you've got so many on here.
Well, that's because that's how many they have on there. You've got like Darwin Gray. You know, he is Darwin Gray is right here.
You said in Atlanta. You're reading off the
I'm reading Jacksonville. Duh. I'm thinking we're on the same sheet. Go ahead.
You see what I got to put up with? I'm sitting there one. I've never heard that name.
I get a mistake once a week. That's my mistake. But also, are you hot? Is it 2 weeks?
It is hot in
2
here.
weeks ago, we're sitting in here and we're shivering.
Teeth chattering.
He was sitting over here with his teeth chattering. Today, I'm sitting here and my armpits are sweating. Anyway, go ahead. You were
with
talking
our offensive
your
line.
Offensive line, yeah.
I gotta think of them right off the bat. At center, we really don't have one yet. The guy that they thought was going to take over evidently isn't ready. Now, we did sign a veteran today that possibly is going to move into the starting line. Matt Hennessy out of Boston College last year, we drafted him, and he played guard with the expectation this year to move to center, but I don't think they're too happy with him because we've drafted another center. We have Jake Matthews at left tackle. We got Chris Lindstrom at guard, Caleb Gary at tackle, and we drafted another guard this year.
Okay, with all of those, see,
this is my thing. All first-round draft choices, and our line is horrible. So, can all 5 of them players be horrible, or is it not any coaching?
There you go. There's my point. So you've got a new coach in position this year. You've got new players coming in, as you're just saying. You're just signing a couple new players. So if that's true, then you should see a complete change in that offensive line. So let's go back to what I stated before. You should see a complete change in that offensive line. Add 2 tight ends, a Pro Bowl tight end, and the best freaking tight end ever to come out of college football in Pitts. And then you bring in your quarterback, which is Matt Ryan, and then you turn around and you put Todd Gurley mixed up with there because now
Todd Gurley's not coming back to Atlanta.
I bet he is.
No.
All right, let's shake on it right here. What you want to bet?
Ain't no need to shake.
I got stitches in my hand, and I'll still shake with him.
I'm telling you,
I'm
Todd Gurley ain't coming back to Atlanta.
I guarantee you that one. So there you go. So there's my point. You've got all that with everything you're saying. If you cannot get out of your way, Matt Ryan
we had it last year, and there was games we only scored 9 points.
But there was games you scored 30 points in the first quarter, and
but
then
we give up 40,
and then lost the game in the fourth quarter. There was 3 games. Oh, excuse me. There's 3 games like that, right?
That was more than 3.
Okay, so let's just say 3. There's games like that. You cannot go to the playoffs and only have 3 games like that.
Well, that's why we drafted number 4.
Yeah, we drafted number 1. So we're talking about 2 Bolivia's teams here. So, all right, let's go here. Look at this. Look at the tallies we have on this. Jacksonville House, 16 rookies that are in camp or that are coming to camp this season. 16 rookies, 6 with only 1 year experience or less. 2 years experience or more, we have 68 people coming back to camp. Here's the difference. How many do you have on yours?
We have 29 rookies, 9 first-year players, and 48 2 years or more experience.
And you have here's the problem, though. You don't
Problem is
have-
we're going to be young.
you don't have the experience to win. But you put all that in the
That
backfield.
might be a good thing because we wasn't winning with the other ones.
But I understand that. But look at it this
So
way.
we can rebuild and bring in a winning attitude.
Yeah, okay, but look at this.
Maybe.
But like you're saying, you said last week, and I got in the doghouse the week before that about Mount Ryan. So you have him at quarterback. You've got this two-line split. You've got a
Well, you ought to be happy because we signed Felipe Franks.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
you ought to be happy.
I am happy. That's why I don't think that you're going to find out that Matt Ryan is probably I don't think he'll get benched, but I think you're going to see Felipe come in the game at least once or twice.
No.
Because he can throw the ball 50 to 60 yards, and I don't think Matt Ryan can put the ball that far. Do you think he can?
Yeah, Matt Ryan. You're so dead set on Matt Ryan. Sucks. He's washed up. He's not worth a damn.
That's exactly right. I think that. I really do.
Then I don't know what to tell you because there's nothing I can tell you. I've done told you he's top 10 in passing in almost every statistical category behind an atrocious offensive line.
You
He's
do that
washed up.
but you do that every week. You always blame the offensive line. You put no onus on the quarterback or on the receivers.
The
or on the running back.
only problem I have with Matt Ryan is he's got to learn to run sometimes instead of stay back there.
But he can't. That's the problem.
But he's
can't.
got to learn to. But you're saying
You're going to take a
you're saying he
34-year-old man and try to teach him new tricks?
He can run.
You just said just a while ago he's got to learn it.
He's got to learn it,
But
but he can
but now
run.
you're
He
saying-
has ran.
He has, but he was 20 years younger at that point.
But Matt Ryan is not the offensive problem for Atlanta.
I don't think he's the complete offensive problem. I think he is part of the offensive
No.
problem. And I also think that there's no unity in there. That's because Julio doesn't want to be there. That's just my sense of looking at everything that's going on. You look at everybody thinks Matt Ryan was or was not the problem. They're overlooking, like you said, Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley has blown.
Todd
his knee
Gurley
out.
did what?
He
He's
had-
got washed out
he-
knees.
He had to complete. They redid his complete knees, so nobody knows if he's going to do anything. He didn't do anything last
No,
year.
we know he's not going to do nothing.
So you're putting.
How can you
you're
with washed
putting-
up knees?
You're putting the onus on everybody else. Put some of the onus on him too. He did not.
I can't.
You can't.
When you have 5 first-round offensive
Here,
linemen,
let's talk about Matt Ryan like this, then, Jimmy. Because you got blinders on, dude. That's all. I mean,
but you won't give him no credit for
okay.
nothing.
All right, look.
Nothing.
He is a decent quarterback. I think he is
Decent.
He's
Decent.
he's in the top 10 this year, maybe 15.
NFL MVP,
in the top
6-7-time Pro Bowler.
in the top 10 or 15
All
this year.
pro.
You gonna let me finish?
I'm just going with you.
No, you're not. You're not. Let me finish what I'm going to say. Then you can call all pro if you want to.
Yeah,
My point is,
I don't have to. It's in there.
it's in where it's in. That
It's
little,
in there
it's
that
in
he has
box.
been all pro.
It's in that box.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where it's
If
gonna
it'll
stay.
pull up.
Exactly. So it's not in that box. My whole point. You started talking about Matt Ryan. Your internet went down.
No, it's been down the whole time. Are we still on? Okay.
So my whole thing here is it's not that I don't give Matt Ryan the credit, but I'm not going to give him the credit that everybody else is trying to give him right now. He's the only God savior on that team, and he's not.
Exactly.
He's not.
No, he is because we don't have anybody else.
And the reason you don't have anybody else
Who
is
are you
because
gonna
they're
go
spending
get?
all their money on him. Get rid of him and get.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I would have never signed into that contract. I'd have never signed any of these guys to the money they're making. But then again, I don't own the team either.
That's why we're sitting in Mama June.
Exactly. But Matt Ryan is not the offensive problem that you think.
I don't think he's the complete. I'm going to say this 100 times if I said it once tonight. Here's the thing. He's not the whole offensive problem. And if you guys disagree with me, then hook me up. Let me know. But I don't think he's the whole offensive problem. I think he is part of the problem. Because if your quarterback can't get a hold of the football team, who is the quarterback of the team? Matt Ryan. Who's supposed to be the one who tells everybody what to do? Matt Ryan. Who's the one that gets them pepped up? Matt Ryan. Who's everybody supposed to look at to be that motivation? Matt Ryan. So he's supposed to do all that. If he's doing all that, then your team's going to run smoother. It's going to run better.
It runs as smooth as you can when you got offensive linemen that couldn't block me.
I guarantee you they'll put you on your ass.
Well, maybe so, but I'm the only ass they're putting on the ground because they ain't putting nobody else's.
Well, and I can agree with that. Some of that is the problem too.
Except theirs
And
when they fall and trip.
some of that is the problem, and you also have some of the wide receivers are the problem. Julio Jones is not all in the game. So he's not all there, so he's a problem. Then you got a defense that they had a defensive coordinator that wasn't allowing people to do what they needed to do. You had somebody was jumping in over top of him. They've got all that straightened out this year.
We have
So
two
now-
guys on defense. That's it.
You're supposed to have 11.
No, we got two.
You only have
And
two
that
players.
and that's why we have the problem we have. We've only got two. We got Grady Jarrett, who is Jesse Tuggle's son, who was the last great linebacker we had. Now, Deion Jones he's good, but he is not great. We need a linebacker that's going to put the team on their shoulders. We need a Lawrence Taylor. We have never had a Lawrence Taylor.
Everybody
as
needs
much
a
as
Lawrence
I love Tuggle, Tuggle was good.
He was a hell of a guy.
But
Right here from Valdosta State, too.
yeah, Griffin. But as good as Tuggle was, and true, you're not going to have no Lawrence Taylors. But we don't have anybody that takes over a game.
You got to have
As
somebody
much
else.
as
I
Grady
agree.
Jarrett, as good as Grady Jarrett is, it takes more than that one.
Here's
But they get our secondary, especially our secondary now, because I think we only brought back one. We let everybody else go in the secondary, so we're going to be passed on a lot.
Yeah, you're going to be passed on because you're up the middle game, especially when they run a deep post or they run a shallow drag.
I mean,
you're screwed.
Aluakon is decent. He's a good starter, but Atlanta has to have somebody on defense. I don't care if it was a cornerback that said, guys, it's 4th and half a yard. Damn it, they're not getting it. Follow me.
Right.
We haven't had that. We haven't had that since, honestly, probably since Deion played there.
Right, we talked about that earlier, correct. I completely understand where you're coming from. You've got to have somebody, and like Deion was that person I was talking about is going to get people up. He's going to take ownership. He's going to tell you what to do. He's going to get on your rear end if you're not doing it, and he's the one that's actually going to take over that defense. You've got nobody doing it on defense. You've got nobody doing it on offense. So what you need is that person to come in there. You need that Paul Posluszky or the Jason Taylors or the Zach Thomases or the who else?
We needed the Clay Matthews.
Yeah, Clay Matthews. Everybody needs Clay Matthews, though. Yeah, those are once in a lifetime. But yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, and that's something we can agree on.
That is the frustration of being an Atlanta Falcon fan. Is we don't have anybody to stand up on defense and say, "That's it, folks. They ain't getting this yard."
Right, I agree. You just don't have anybody that's going to.
But now, hopefully, with Arthur Smith coming in as head coach, this will be the first offensive head coach that Matt Ryan has had.
But like you said, it's not. Let's switch it for a minute. You've got nobody on the defense right now that's going to stand up like what's the guy from the Chicago Bears, the linebacker that came on, Dick Butkus. You've got nobody that's going to be a Dick Butkus and step up into the line and say, I'm going to get my nose and my teeth bloody. The rest of y'all come and follow me. You have nobody that's going to do that right now for Atlanta.
No, we don't.
There's nobody in that situation, and that's what Atlanta needs. They need somebody that they can
look. I do not.
Is the same way.
If Grady Jarrett was to leave when his contract's up, I have no hard feelings toward him. If any Atlanta Falcon player left because they say, I don't see the commitment to winning, I have no problem with that because I, as a fan, don't see it.
So you have to have buy-in. Right now, that's the difference between your team and my team.
Because all they wanted to do is say, rise up.
The ones that we're previewing today, me as Jacksonville and you as Atlanta, that's the difference in our teams right now. We're going in. We haven't even started the season yet, and we're going so hyped. Why are we going so hyped? Number one,
because you got Trevor.
Who we picked? We got Trevor. We got ETN. We just picked up a couple linemen. We also the Tim Tebow stuff. So we've got hype going in there. We got a new coach. He's banging it out, telling everybody this is what we're going to do. We're going to win. He's hyping it up. What do you hear coming out of Atlanta besides rise up?
That's my point. That's why they're not there no more. Hopefully that's why.
But that's what they've got to get there. They have to get back to that. You see it when you have that initial.
But like Jacksonville, it's going to take a second.
Yeah,
it's not Jacksonville nor Atlanta is going to go from worst to first this year.
I don't know. Have you seen Atlanta's division?
I know
you're
who's
playing
in it.
Indianapolis, you're playing Houston, you're playing Tennessee. Have you seen those? Those teams are all rebuilding. It is a free-for-all. Jacksonville could completely win their division.
Jacksonville could. Atlanta won't. We got to play Tampa twice.
I understand. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I just know what I do know what to say is they have to come up with somebody. Somebody's got to stir the pot.
So we can count a win against Jacksonville.
You can count a loss against Jacksonville because Jacksonville's going to win.
Are we going to that? We're going to that game.
We may do a show for
We're going to that game.
I'll call my guy over there.
But you got to get me in some. You got to get me in some shade. Well, maybe not in November at 1:00. November at 1:00 at the end. It may be okay. I may not have to have no shade then.
If we do a show from over there, I'll call Brad. I'll call him tomorrow and see what I can get. He only works half a day tomorrow, but I'll call him and see if I can get something on the hook.
I need that job.
Go work for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So anyway, all right. Hey, good debate. Give me some right here. All right.
Because you can't shake no more. You can't shake no more. You got the fist bump.
Doesn't that look good?
Well, you shake when you walk just like me. So.
No, I jiggle when I walk.
Yeah.
You shake.
I was being nice about it.
I jiggle when I walk. You giggle when you talk.
Mama T, where'd you go? I haven't seen anything from you.
Mama T's going to work.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's gone into the hospital. She's in the emergency room.
As much as I was against Atlanta taking Kyle Pitts, I see why they did, but I still... I'm not iffy on it. I want a defense. Because it does no good to score 54 points a game.
Let me see
if you can't keep them from scoring 70.
But let's look, okay, and I understand what you're saying. Let's look at what you just picked up on free agency. In free agency, let's just say cornerbacks. You picked up 1, 2,
they should be about 5
3,
or 6.
4, 5, 6.
Okay, maybe 7.
You picked up just 6 corners alone. Let's pick the safeties. 1, 2, 3.
But that's
4,
what we was talking about a while ago.
5.
We're going younger.
6. You picked up 6 safeties. Now
there's only going to be about 4 or 5 corners make the team and 2 safeties
at the most. But that's what I'm getting at. And you're inside man.
And this is free agent signings. This
is just free agent signings from up to this date today. That's what he has in there. But he also says he just put on his paper that Matt had resigned. Matt Schaub had resigned.
Matt Schaub retired.
Yeah. But here's my point. Here's what I was telling you earlier, and this is what we didn't get to today, and we only have a couple minutes, so let me run this down. Dante Fowler, right now, if you was to lose his guaranteed $16 million that he just came with to Atlanta, he's got $16 million on this year. If you cut him, you still have to pay him, but you have that $16 million guaranteed. So he's getting that money. Why would you make that contract?
Well, that's why the general manager, Thomas Dimitroff, ain't there no more.
Exactly. And you go down and you look at some of these other players, like Lee Smith, your tight end that you have, you're paying him $1.8 million, and you just picked up Pitts.
That's why I said tight end was not Atlanta's problem.
So the question is, who are you going to get rid of? You going to get rid of Pitts, or are you going to get rid of this guy that's going to cost you $1.8 million, Lee Smith?
No, I get rid of the other guys because they brought Smith in as a blocker.
Right here, you got Luke Stockton.
You
zero.
We have signed him 3 or 4 times,
and he is costing you nothing if you get rid of him. So you can get rid of him. That's my whole point. You can go down this list on and on and on and find some of these players that their money it's just not there. It's not worth it. And sometimes it just, as a general layperson sitting out here, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the NFL. You're paying these guys so much money, and they're guaranteed.
But it's not just NFL; it's all sports.
Well, yeah, look at basketball.
Except for WNBA, women's sports, they're not making nowhere near.
They're not making nearly enough money. They're just really not. They're making $200,000 compared to LeBron's at 16 or 17.
Well, it's not even LeBron's millions. It's backups making more than starters in the women's league.
Exactly, and that's we want to bring on some ladies for the ladies sports here in town. We want to bring some folks on to bring attention to that because they don't get enough attention, like the Lady Blazers and Mama T's Lady Dowsers or whatever they're called over there, and then their County's having a softball camp. Y'all need to look into that for your granddaughters or your daughters. Put them in the softball camp up there in Cook County. My granddaughter will be going up there in, I think it's July. Anything else? We got anything else? We had a good debate tonight. Everybody, we appreciate whatever and the things you said and done. Chris, I appreciate everything you've done. We're going to try and work on this Skype again. Not Skype. I'm going to show my age. Not Skype. It is Zoom. We're going to try and figure some stuff out on this Zoom. Evidently, the phone calls weren't working, I guess is what Scott was saying. Nothing was coming through. Nobody was calling.
Was it nothing was coming through? Nobody was calling.
I think it was both.
Hey, folks, don't forget Tuesday night we're going to be at Mama June.
You're at Mama.
We are at JoJo's Potato and Mac Shack on Bemis Road. If you don't know where it's at, right in front of theaters, it's where the old Burger IM was, and next door to Little Caesar's Pizza.
If you walk in the door, you won't see us in the front. We're not in the front.
We will be out back.
They have a big patio out back, and the out back in the patio is open air, so you can wear your mask, you can not wear your mask, you can come, you can stand close, you can talk, we'll have an open mic. I'm afraid I won't be there, but I believe we're going to try and get. That way, everybody says you're all just going to.
Did I say something?
He's talking to God, I thought.
I was looking.
Wasn't he talking to God over there just a second ago? See, Chris.
Yeah, I was thanking him for breathing today.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Anybody have any comments, questions, or anything? We'll circle back to it next week.
Have fun.
Yeah, like, share, and all that other good stuff. Oh, that's right. Are we still on?
No. Oh, are we?
That's right. He just.
Well,
I don't know why he didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But also go to like and share on YouTube, and you can share and like our page. We need some subscriptions on there. So please go to YouTube. It is what, Chris? You got a mic right there speaking to it. Speak.
It's the Armchair Sports on YouTube.
Armchairs. I like how you said today. It's the Armchair Sports on YouTube. Good job, Chris. We appreciate it. Go to YouTube, Facebook. We've got like 3 different Facebook pages. We've got Twitter and all that other groovy guys. So anything on social media.
more than what we know.
Chris got something to say. He's leaning. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications.
Hey, we got, you know what, since we didn't do it last week, we didn't do it this week yet, but we are. We are going to know, we didn't forget nobody. I got to find it real quick. We're going to give a cup away. I just got to find out where it was I put it.
He put a cup somewhere.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Players with at least 55,000 yards passing and 300 passing touchdowns in their first 13 seasons in NFL history. How many and who was it? And you get a cup.
Slow that down and do it again.
Okay, this is for Roger. Players with at least 55.
Oh, you said players.
Yes.
I thought you said layers.
Players.
Start that over.
Well, you know, it's a southern accent.
Go ahead and get through it. Let's go.
Players with at least 55,000 passing yards and 300 passing touchdowns in their first 13 seasons in NFL history. How many and who were they?
How many and who were they? Hook us
Give
up.
us that. We'll get you a cup and a coffee cup. And have we got a shirt?
Well, we got plenty of shirts. That's what I was just going to say next. We have shirts in all sizes. Just give us a holler. We'll send you out a shirt. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and also hit the I want button.
And when you see Roger, you can hit him too.
Oh, I did have somebody was going to do that this week. We were out there.